really strong alumni network pulling for these two. Historically great program. We're underway. Lots to talk about here. Before we get into individuals, let's just set the scene here. We're under the lights. It's just after 9 local time. Conditions are absolutely perfect. And Stu, what we think is going to happen is that man leading the pack right now, Ethan Gregg, is going to push it. And if he does, in these conditions, if the men are willing to go with it, we might see something historically fast.
Yeah, we talked to him after he almost broke the 10K record. We said, hey, what's this race going to be like? He looked at us, smiled, and said, fast. And I'll take you through who is in here and who is going to ride this pain train, as we already kind of have a Stanford-esque vibe going as it's strung out here. So we have Charlie Namio of Williams, TK Burhi of Laverne, Logan Bokovic of St. Olaf, Badang Lad of MIT, Lucas Florsheim of Pomona Pitzer, Matthew Kearney, 8th all-time from MIT, Spencer Moon of Simpson. He's run the 21st all-time time. Jeffrey Love, Connecticut College, Andrew Ma of MIT, Elias Lindgren of Williams, Andrew Gumond of North Central, Ryan Cordell of Hereford, Vince Simonetti of RPI, Gunnar Schlender, who has run the 15th all-time time of Wisconsin Whitewater, Enrique Salazar of Manchester, he's run the 22nd fastest all-time time, Ethan Gregg, 3rd all-time of Wisconsin Lacrosse, Alec Gironda of Middlebury, Alex Phillip, the record holder of John Carroll, Simon Hayes of Wilmington, Max Saventi, who's run the 9th fastest all-time time, Jacob Green of Wartburg, and Jack Begley of Case Western.
As Stu catches his breath, we see the field out there stretched across 25 meters, single file. This is a rabbited, paced 10K. There is only one tactic here, and it's run until your legs fall off. This field is up for it. They're game. We're going to start bringing you splits as they come to us, but Ethan Gregg is doing Ethan Gregg things. He's out there leading the charge. Alex Phillip in the forward hat this time, slotted there in second, making his intentions known. We just interviewed Max Saventi from North Central. He was obviously up for the challenge as well. There were no questions as to what was going to happen. Everybody entered this race with full knowledge of what it was going to take.
2:17 through the 800, 4:34 pace through 2 laps. So buckle up, folks.
Yeah, as you said, that split, the pack splits into 2, and so these are your contenders. These are the men who are willing to stick their hand in the fire. But that second pack, I mean, they're going to be flying too, and so it'll be interesting to see what kind of carnage we have here. I believe that's 9 athletes pulling away, but even there's some hesitancy to go with Gregg.
Yeah, this is a decision this early in the race. Do you go with it, or do you go in that backpack and hope you pick up the carnage that happens here in this front pack? Here we go.
We know what Gregg is capable of. He may come back a little bit over the course of this race, but he's not going to come back very much. There's some 14-minute 5K guys we haven't even mentioned yet.
Yeah, here's the first pack. Ethan Gregg, Alex Phillip, Max Saventi, Gunnar Schlender, Spencer Moon, Ryan Cordell, Enrique Salazar, Elias Lindgren, and Logan Bokovic. Bokovic, 14:01 5K runner. Elias Lindgren, 13:58 5K runner. Max Saventi, 13:59 5K runner. Spencer Moon has run 14:0s. This field is loaded. Ryan Cordell, 14:01 5K runner. That's their front pack.
Looks like we're running 66, 67s floating around there. The splits are a little bit erratic coming through our computers right now, but around 67, they look to be about 326.
Yep, coming through 1200.
Through 1200, and not much has changed. One race I'm interested to see, Elias Lindgren, sub-14 man a couple times. We've seen him struggle at the end of hard races. His legs kind of lock up. He loses a lot of positions. I think if he's on and that doesn't happen, he could finish really high up.
If it comes down to a kick, it's going to be an interesting. Alex Phillips run 3:46, I want to say 3:45 in this 1500, but Ethan Gregg, Alex Phillip going out. Leading this chase pack, though, is RPI's Vince Simonetti and Connecticut College's Jeffrey Love. So keep an eye on that. That's also a very talented pack. Mind you, it took you a sub 30-minute 10K to get in here, and we're not even talking about their other credentials they have on the track.
Thanks to our camera crew there for getting that shot of the chase pack. We'll continue to bring you updates from the chase pack as we focus on the front. Stu, we knew Ethan Gregg was going to do this. We saw him do it over 3K indoors, but this is a 25-lap race. They're going to be out here for almost half an hour. Can he maintain this the whole time with pressure from Phillip in his pocket? These two have a 10-meter gap now.
This is a heavyweight battle, 4:35 through the mile. This isn't your father's D3 10K. This is the new era of D3 track and field distance running, and we are seeing two of the finest in the sport right now going blow for blow. We talked to Ethan Gregg. He is fine with you sitting on him. He will take you through any sort of pace. He thinks he can handle it. He wants to know if you can.
If they keep this up, I guarantee you that the finish time tonight will be faster than the Division I 10K.
Woo.
Guaranteed.
Love it.
Guaranteed.
Simon Hayes takes over that back pack here, that chase pack. He has been 5th in cross country in 2021. He was an All-American last year in this event as well. Very capable of being up there. Maybe it's a calculated choice right now to not go with that front group and see what he can do and pick off people who may fall back, because you only have to pick off 1 or 2 people from that group right now and you're an All-American.
Yeah, look at this shot. This is great. You see the field stretch across 75 meters, and nobody in this field is running slow.
No. It is hot from the gun. Here's what 22nd place went through. 4:44.
22nd place, last place in the field, 4:44 through the mile in this 10K.
We are moving. That's sub 15-minute 5K pace, because 4:48 is 15-minute 5K pace.
Ethan Gregg continues to push. I don't think Phillip is going to help him at all. I think Phillip will probably let the chase pack rejoin them before he takes the lead to continue pushing. He's just, I mean, he's trying to assert dominance by showing he could win it either way.
I mean, he's kind of caught up on his shoulder right now. I wonder, if they're, what is going on? Are they talking? Are they saying anything to each other? It's probably just short repetitions of breath right now.
If they come to some kind of agreement to share the lead, I think that duo is almost untouchable. But that would be a big risk for Phillip, because he can win it in a kick if he gets to the end with Gregg. He can win it in a kick. But also, is he confident that he could take the lead and run everybody's legs off? We don't know. He hasn't touched the lead yet.
Yeah, I think if you're in Alex's position right now, you just kind of hang out, hang tight. You don't need, if you already have the D3 record, you don't want to help someone try to go get that D3 record. So I think you just sit here, see what Ethan's all about. If you're feeling good, still at 6K, maybe start thinking about moving. No, it's still pretty far away. I'm thinking of an 8K race. You're about 8K. Start thinking about some moves, but that's a long way away. We're only 8 minutes into this race, and the chase pack by Simon Hayes and Jeffrey Love is going to conjoin to make a peloton here. We're going to have 20 athletes together here momentarily, probably by the next 150 meters or so, and 2 out in front.
That was a 69-second last lap for Gregg. And I want to show some love to Max Saventi here, because he's essentially doing the same thing that Ethan Gregg is. He's far enough that he's not getting any benefit leading from those front two, and nobody is helping him in this pack. That chase pack has been pretty static, and so they're content to let him do the driving back there as well. But if they want to close the gap, they need to cycle through some leaders. They need guys to share laps. They need to have a team mentality in that chase pack if they want any hope of catching the leaders.
Yeah, they are looking real good right now and having a strong train here.
Yeah, it looks like the two groups are back together. The chase pack and that third pack are now one long line, and so that's great to see. Let's see some splits here. So Max Saventi leading that pack is running maybe half a second, or about a full second slower than the lead pack as of the last lap. So the gap continues to grow, and there doesn't seem to be any urgency to close it. They may be resigned to the fact that they're either going to finish third or that leading duo is going to collapse.
So the top two went through 9:12 in 3,200 meters. 22nd went through in 9:25.
Yeah.
So all you high school athletes out there on the men's side, whatever you think about what your 3,200 meter PR is, they probably just went through that in a 10K, and they have 4 miles to go.
Yeah, I'm just going to read you off Greg's last 4 lap splits just so you can get an idea of how consistent he's running and how well he's managing his energy. It's not fits and starts. He's been 69.2, 69.02, 69.43, and 69.47 over the last 1,600 meters. And so this is a measured effort.
No, you've been in this type of situation before, chasing fast times. How dialed in are you when you kind of have a race like this? Are you just knowing what pacing to hit? Because everything you said there is super even, like clockwork.
Yeah, I think their minds are blank. I think they've committed to the kind of race they want to have, and now it's just about turning off the brain and letting the laps go by. They've got enough of a gap that they don't feel the pressure. They don't have the noise of everyone's footsteps around them. I mean, they're obviously working really hard, but it's almost like a zen-like state. It's very quiet where they are in the backstretch, and they can focus on their effort, and they don't have to expend the mental energy that the chase pack is expending, where they're just like, oh, are we gaining? Are we falling back? It's pretty clear what the mission is.
They have roughly an 80-meter lead right now.
Yeah, that was another 69 from Greg on that last lap, and you know, we're just going to be talking about Greg more than Philip because Greg is in the lead, but Philip is doing this too.
Yeah, they are deciding. I mean, here's the championship record. It's 28:53.
Goodbye.
So there only has been a handful of D3 athletes that have run sub 29 minutes in a 10K. So it's going to be a historic. We're on pace for history right here.
All right, the lead has changed.
Yeah, it's Ryan Cradell and Elias Lindgren now taking over from Max Saventi and Gunnar Schlender. Gunnar Schlender, 14 flat minute 5K runner as well, just hanging out in the pack there.
Yeah, we'll see if their pace changes with a little bit of a lead change. Looks like they're still running a second and a half slower per lap. We'll get a better idea over the next lap. That was another 69 for Ethan Gregg, so through 4K, 69.10. The lap before that, 69.03. He's just clicking them off, and honestly, at a tempo this smooth, I'm not sure it's really taken a whole lot out of him.
6 athletes, 2 are in this race, have broken 29 minutes in the 10K. It's Alex Phillip, Ian Lemire, Ethan Gregg, Dan Mayer, Dhruval Patel, and John Crane. 3 are from North Central.
Whatever happens over the course of the next 15 minutes or so of this race, these 2 men leading it deserve everyone's respect. This is just a huge effort, huge gamble, unprecedented effort at the D3 national meet to try to do it like this.
And they're not going to be done after this. They both have a 5K. So they're coming back after this type of effort, and they're going to have to do this again on Saturday because Ethan Gregg's going to be in the race, and he's not going to let it go slow. It'll
be really interesting to see what happens to their legs after something like this. I'm really looking forward to the 5K split. We're not quite there yet, but it'll be a really interesting marker.
Yeah, we're 1 lap away from that spot where they just were.
Yeah, 1 lap until we get to the halfway point, and that'll give us a really clear idea. And over the course of a 10K, you know, anybody can run a fast 5K in a 10K. It's a really long race, and I think these guys have the ability to measure that effort over 10,000 meters, but, you know, it's still a big question mark.
Yeah, if we get maybe a shot of the chase pack here as they come up to the 3-mile mark, we'll let you know what that split is. But everyone is still together here. 20 guys left as they go through 3 miles in 13:48. And here you can see all 20 still together. Oh, there's one maybe off the back. So 19 guys all still together. Elias Lindgren, Ryan Cradell, Gunnar Schlender, Jeffrey Love, Enrique Salazar, and Max Saventi and Logan Bokovic look to make up that All-American top 8. I might have went over 1.
Ethan Gregg picked it up on that last lap. He dipped under 69 for the first time, 68.9. And here we go, eyes on the track, and we'll get you a 5K split in this historic men's 10K. Stu, they're hitting it now.
14:22, so 28:44. That's on pace for a championship record. It's about 13 seconds off what Alex ran in his record run. Ethan's run 3:40, so that's just off his PR as well. But when they both ran the record, I believe, at least Ethan did, when he ran his personal best, he negative split.
Their gap is over 100 meters now. Lindgren has taken up the pacing duties from Williams in that chase pack, and he led them through their fastest lap of the race. He ran through into 69.62, leading the charge there. Definitely some urgency back there, but man, it must be so demoralizing when you pick up the effort going from a 72 to a 69, and you're still losing a second to the leaders every lap of the track.
And they're not going slow. They went 14:08 through 3 miles, this chase pack did, and they're starting to get a little bit of carnage here. We have about 5 guys kind of breaking off of that main pack or so. So we got 2 up front, -5, about 15 or so. 14 or so are in the main pack now, as you see on your screen. That's about 14 if I counted correctly. Yep, counted correctly. Woo.
While we were talking, Greg picked it up again on that last lap, another fastest lap of the race. I think he's testing Phillip now. They know they have this gap. The win isn't assured. The group could always catch him. Something could always happen. But now the group, the mentality is going to shift from racing the field to just these 2 men racing each other.
11 laps to go in the chase pack. Starting slowly to break up, starting to get some chips in the armor there. You got Elias Lindgren, Ryan Cordell, Gunnar Schlender, Andrew Ma now of MIT, first time mentioning him, Enrique Salazar, Max Saventi, and Logan Bokovic, that top half of that group, followed by Jeffrey Love, Simon Hayes, Spencer Moon. A lot of big names, a lot of All-Americans from cross country in this pack, and they're getting run away from by some 2 legendary D3 runners.
Yeah, they're continuing to ship out about a second per lap. Elias took them through there in a 70.
And there's a shot of Elias Lindgren right there. Looks like he had a little haircut for him right now, followed by Gunnar Schlender, Ryan Cordell, Enrique Salazar, Matthew Kearney now kind of getting into the mix here. You know, we're getting into the later stages of the race here where guys who maybe were hanging out, trying to take off, you know, maybe a little bit less of a blow than what the other guys are doing, a second or 2 off. Now starting to move up, reassert themselves, and make sure they can get some points to their team, especially the MIT guys. They need some points here. They have 3 runners.
Stu, we're seeing Alex Phillip shake the arms out. We've seen him do that a lot when he's up at the front of the races, and I think there's a tendency for people to see him shaking his arms. He just did it there, and wonder if he's comfortable. But this is just what he does.
It's what he does, and he also, when things get tough, during cross country, when he first won his first national title, he had the word endure on his arm. He usually writes something meaningful on his arm, so that way when he looks down and things are getting tough, he knows who he's running for or knows what he's running for. And so that's another inspiration when he looks down, potentially looking at his arm, not necessarily looking at like, oh, I'm tired, but I got to remember who I'm running for.
Another thing I want to say about Ethan Gregg, I know we're talking about him a lot. He's leading the race. He's doing an amazing thing. Well, big arm swing there from Phillip. Greg hasn't looked back. He hasn't looked around. He hasn't waved Alex through at all. He's not even trying to get Phillip to come through in the lead. I think a lot of times you see great athletes leading races, and they're always asking for help. They're always asking for somebody to come through to take a lap. And that's not happening here at all. These 2 athletes have an understanding. They know how it's going to play out. It's just going to come down to who is better.
9 laps to go. Well said. You know, when does Alex make a move? Does Alex make a move? Ethan, we've talked to him. He did this for Christian Patska. He took Christian Patska when they initially broke that indoor D3 5K record. This is what he did. He said, I don't care if he breaks the record or I break the record. I'm going to run this way, and if I can help you, great. If I can't, great.
If you're watching at home right now, pull out your phone, tweet at D3 Glory Days which one of these 2 athletes you think is going to win, Ethan Gregg or Alex Phillip. Tweet at us. We'll get a poll going. Would love to see it. Nothing changing up front. It's an absolute stalemate in this war in the trenches, but something is going to happen. Something is going to happen, but when?
The 20-minute mark always seems to be the mark in a 10K. When things get tough, you're probably in the minute realm of when you're going to finish, or you're getting close to it. Things start to hurt. They're 2 miles away, 3,200 meters, 8 laps to go. Alex adjusts his singlet there. Maybe we can get a shot of the backstretch to show you that the pack is still together. It is insane that these guys are still hammering it right now. Elias Lindgren, Gunnar Schlender, Andrew Ma, Ryan Cradell, Simon Hayes, Enrique Salazar, Spencer Moon, Logan Bokovic, Matthew Kearney, kind of all now moving away from the rest of the field.
Yeah, what a great pack there. Some of the best Division III athletes we've ever seen, and they're having an amazing race there. And so the All-American spots, as we sort them out, will be super interesting. Looking back to the lead here, Alex Phillip is almost playing like a very subtle mind game here. You see that he's not 2 meters behind. He's not 1 meter behind. He's often running towards the outside of lane 1 as if he's just feigning that he could come around him. He looks so good sitting in the pocket. Greg is doing his best, but Phillip is not going anywhere. One of these men is going to show weakness. It's going to happen soon. Let's see what this lap is.
We're in for a historic race. The fastest last All-American, and thank you to the Sage Hens, Kirk Reynolds historian, the fastest last All-American spot, 2013, 30:09.
That's the fastest
That's the
All-American
fastest
spot.
number 8 in. Like we're telling you, this doesn't happen in a 10K. There's usually tactics involved. There's usually negative splits involved. You don't typically go out in a 4:35 mile. So, a pretty historic 10K. And we may get to a point where they're going to be lapping folks, and it's going to be that historic of a race.
All right, so in that last lap, something happened for the first time. The lead pack and the chase pack are running the same pace. So Elias Lindgren, leading that chase pack, has now matched the pace of Ethan Gregg, and so that's kind of a big deal, Stu. They've been giving away a second a lap. Now they're running the same pace. Can they claw back some time? There's still a lot of distance left here, but the front two still look really strong. I'll give you Greg's last 4 laps one more time.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Alex Phillip on the shoulder. Is this the move? 6 laps to go.
He's going around.
After 19 laps, has taken the lead for the very first time. Game on.
That was a 69.97, so Greg's slowest lap in the lead. But Phillip is leaving no doubt about his intentions here. He opens up a 1 meter lead, but this is the sign of toughness. Greg now has to chase. We know he can lead, but can he chase?
Wow. Here we go. Alex Phillip, Ethan Gregg. The race is on.
Alex Phillip, one of, if not the best to ever do it in Division III. We'll send him off to Division I after this year, but we've got him for one more outdoor 10K, and he's starting to turn the screw. I'm really interested to see what kind of pace he's running, but he's opened up a pretty substantial gap on Greg just over the course of 350 meters.
If we know Alex like I think we do, that indoor meet hurt. That stung. And he wants revenge. He wants to be known as one of the best D3 runners in history, and he wants to add titles to it. I think him getting second hurt that legacy, but he's still considered one of the greatest to do it. He's got a great resume. He's got 5 laps to hold off Ethan Gregg now.
Phillip turned the screw there. We obviously see the gap opening up on our screen, but that reflected in splits as he ran a 66-second lap there. And so that's a really great acceleration. He's continuing to push that advantage. Wow, 25 meters or so from Greg. Greg's continuing to hang tough.
23:01 for the 8K.
Greg through 8K now. Maybe we can get a shot of the chase pack here before too long. Elias Lindgren continues to push that pace along. He's going sub 72nd per quarter. There he is on your screen. Now Gunnar Schlender sitting in behind him. But Elias Lindgren really taking over here and pushing that chase pack also on at an amazing pace. We'll see if anybody helps him. There hasn't been a lot of teamwork in this race, Stu.
Yeah, Gunnar Schlender looks really content. Simon Hayes, you mentioned earlier, right now in 5th. Enrique Salazar in 6th. Wow, we're going to have an incredible race. Ethan Gregg just crossed the line, 1,600 meters to go. Alex has under 1,600 meters to go, about to be lapping some athletes. Let's see how quick he can go. He's definitely going to break the championship record. Could he lower his already D3 record? So the final All-American spot is Matthew Kearney, hip number 6. That's big for MIT to get at least a point here in this race.
That last lap from Ethan Gregg was a 71, so that's his slowest of the race. That early pace is definitely starting to sink in a little bit. We'll see how well he can maintain. He's still got over a 100-meter lead on Elias Lindgren in that pack of 4, which is now separating. But eyes on Alex Phillip here as he enters the home stretch, shakes out the arms again, just as he was doing when he was sitting in the pocket. He's still shaking out the arms. He looks amazing. I think he's breathing through his nose.
1,200 meters to go. He would need to run a 3:15 or faster, 65s for 3 more laps to break his own record. He'll destroy the championship record. Ethan Gregg will destroy the championship record. And now we finalize the All-American positioning. We have Elias Lindgren. Gunnar Schlender moves into 3rd now down the home stretch. He'll have 3 laps to go. It'll be Gunnar Schlender, Elias Lindgren, Simon Hayes in 5th, Enrique Salazar in 6th, Matthew Kearney in 7th, and Logan Bokovic in 8th.
Ethan Gregg really working now. You can get a great shot of his face there, kind of starting to lean to the side. His last lap was around the 71, a little bit under that, so he's still on a good pace. Ethan Gregg is going to empty the tank no matter what, but Alex Phillip is looking amazing. If you doubted him indoors, he's showing you that it was just an off day.
Yeah, he is putting the doubters to shame right now. Whatever the adjustments him and Kyle Assista made this outdoor season clearly worked. 2 outdoor records, 800 meters away from adding another national title to his resume.
That was another 67 from Phillip. If he can do one more 67 and then just a monster close, we'll be challenging that record.
So Gunnar Schlender's in 3rd, Elias Lindgren in 4th, Simon Hayes in 5th, Enrique Salazar in 6th, Matthew Kearney in 7th, Logan Bokovic in 8th, but Max Aventi and Ryan Cordell are hunting down Logan Bokovic for that final All-American spot. They'll have 2 laps to go, but now the eyes are on Alex Phillip.
This field just absolutely exploded. We have athletes around the entire 400-meter oval. We're going to keep track of it. Alex Phillip shaking out the arms. He's on his way to glory. You guys are witnessing history. You're witnessing greatness. Alex Phillip deserves all the respect that we can give him. What an amazing performance to sit in behind that hard charge from Gregg, and now he's finishing it off by himself.
400 meters to add to Alex Phillip. Legacy here. He was the 2021 cross-country champ. He won the 2022 indoor 3K and 5K. Won last year's 10K, won this year's cross-country national championship, indoor runner-up in the 3K and 5K, now is about to add another title. He owns 4 D3 records.
John Carroll should build a building after this man.
He's going off to North Carolina for his final year of eligibility to get a master's degree.
Gunnar Schlender just ran a 66.
As he comes down the home stretch, Alex Phillip takes a look, realizes.
Give the crowd a wave, Alex.
Give the crowd a wave.
There it is. Oh, he holds up 6.
6 titles. Alex Phillip, your 10K national champion. He's back.
28-37. The man has left. No doubt. What a historic run there. Pounds his chest. And now Ethan Gregg, if we can get a shot of him crossing the finish line. Just an absolute monster run by Ethan Gregg. Took up much of the early pace. He just crosses right there. What a great run from him.
And here comes Gunnar Schlender finishing 3rd. He'll cop into your screen here. And here's a big battle for 4th. Simon Hayes is going to edge out Enrique Salazar. Logan Bokovic overtakes Elias Lindgren, and Matthew Kearney going to round out the All-American spot.
All right, that last All-American spot, 29-20.
Jeez.
8th place, 29-20.
All right, so we got some crazy times coming through.